Mad Tiger.
Hi, I'm Bill Roper. I'm a design director at Cryptic Studios and the executive producer on Champions Online. So there's three different types of PvP represented in Champions Online. They're all under the umbrella of the hero games, which is basically both sanctioned and unsanctioned types of superhero fights, basically hero-on-hero battles. The unsanctioned one is called Bash. That's actually, in terms of PvP, is a big free-for-all. It takes place in Westside, which is kind of the slummy district in Millennium City. The big thing with that is that players are able to actually go out, interact in the environment. There are NPCs out there, there's enemies, there's villains that you can fight, as well as the other heroes. So you're really kind of maybe even using, hitting the villains, getting them to drop items, getting them to drop boosts to make you more powerful in the PvP fight. But it's a big, huge, open, just free-for-all bash, which is why that's what's called. Then there's the UTC, the Ultimate Tournament of Champions. That takes place in arenas and is 5-on-5 combat. You can join either individually into the queue and get put on a team randomly, kind of a pickup team, or you can actually have a full team together and then do a team queue. I think a big thing that ties into the PvP system is the fact that you can go into the queue from anywhere in the world. You don't have to go to a specific location to PvP. You can just call up the PvP queue from the main menu, say I want to go into whatever type of setting there is, whether it's Bash, whether it's one of the arena types that you've earned, and go in, and then it just lets you know when your queue's ready and you can jump in and fight. The last type of PvP are what we call Apocalypse missions. Apocalypse missions are basically designed to represent like end-of-the-world scenarios. So basically what those are, and the one we ship with is a great example. So it's the Stronghold Prison Apocalypse. Basically the idea behind that is that you're either playing the role of heroes trying to stop a villain uprising in Stronghold, which is the villain prison, or you're one of the villains trying to break out. You could also think of it as maybe you've been a hero unjustly imprisoned and you're being held in by villains. Either way, basically there's a hero and a villain side, and it actually plays a lot like Dota maps that you see in War 3. There's waves of heroes and villains, basically the prison guards trying to stop the prisoners breaking out. There's gun emplacements, there's suppressors, and then there's actually different types of waves that you can unlock and send at either side, but all in a PvP setting. It's really cool. Some of the other elements of PvP that I think are really important are that we do a lot more than just let you fight each other. Of course, there's dueling for just that one-on-one anywhere fighting. But when you get into UTC or Bash or Apocalypse, you actually start earning acclaim. And that acclaim can then be traded in like as its own currency with the hero games organizers. And what they let you do is buy different outfits, different costumes, action figures, collectibles, like all kinds of cool stuff that can show off that you've been a big member of PvP. Another thing that we do that's pretty different is we actually let you gain experience for your character while playing PvP. You know, the way we figure it is that if we're kind of representing that you're becoming a more seasoned hero, you're gaining experience, gaining new powers by fighting villains and fighting enemies in the world, well, you're probably learning a lot even by sparring with other heroes. So even though it's not as dangerous because you're defeated, you're not actually losing your hero stars and things like that in PvP, so you don't get as much experience as doing missions or fighting enemies in the real world, but you still can actually get experience and level through PvP. There's also not only a whole economy based on that with the acclaim, but also occasionally we'll just do a random drop that occurs in the world, like an item's loot that just drops whenever you defeat someone in PvP. So it doesn't come off that character. It's not like you have a chance to lose something by PvPing, but it just drops off of a drop table designed specifically for PvP. I really think that the significance of dueling is that it's that core basis for any other PvP we do, right? Making sure that it's fun and interesting to fight somebody one-on-one and that it's balanced, then becomes the kind of the foundation for any other PvP that we do. So whether that then is free-for-all or the 5-on-5 teams or the Apocalypse maps, which are all very mission-heavy, that all always goes back to, is it just fun to sit there and beat the heck out of each other? And you really start finding that out initially in dueling. So one thing that you'll notice in PvP and kind of in that's threaded throughout it, and especially the hero games, is this concept of luchadors. It was actually a big request from our PvP-focused beta community. They talk about it, how some of the earliest superheroes that competed in this type of thing were luchadors, right? They were masked men that were fighting in the ring and seemed to have powers that were above normal wrestlers. It's actually kind of part of the Champions lore. The thing that's cool about that is our players picked up on that, and they just were like, oh, we've got to have luchador stuff. So we actually built a ton of luchador costumes of different levels. There's basic ones, there's leather ones you can get, there's glitter ones, all these cool different versions, a lot of different styles. You'll see it when you see videos we do on PvP. One of the big things we want to do is to allow players to actually get those items, and even to get things that represent that they've been there that are tied into that luchador theme. So it's kind of one of the big visual significant costume changes we allow players to make as they gain more and more acclaim points, as they can get all these different pieces of luchador gear. Items that you're getting for the acclaim for PvP are predominantly not necessarily any better than any item you'd get for PvE. A lot of it is, wanting to make sure that you could replace the costume pieces you have and not lose anything because of that. It's really, a lot of it is just having a lot of style, kind of looking cool. Trying to get pieces that are giving you the same benefit as maybe another item or upgrade you would have in that slot, since we use your upgrade slots to equip those. So it's more, it's less about getting these items make you more powerful, and it's more that these items tend to keep you around the same level so you don't lose anything, but you get this cool special look with them. So it's just like basically having a nice way to be able to come very close to swapping out maybe gear that you already have, so you have a look that's specific to the area that you're fighting in, but you could use it anywhere in the world, really. Yeah, definitely the elements like the Apocalypse maps and Stronghold, like Bash, like the UTC arenas and stuff. Definitely just the foundation, just the groundwork for what we want to be doing. We have a lot of other Apocalypse map types that we have planned out. Things that will incorporate other, I think, common, really well-liked PvP components like Capture the Flag and things like that, right? That we want to build into cool scenario maps, being able to expand upon the different arena types you can fight in, building other Bash zones that have other cool elements to them. Basically, we really wanted to get in a solid foundation for an ongoing, growing PvP community and gameplay modes within Champions Online. I thought it was really important that we did that. I think the whole team did, was that you want to have something there when you launch. And I think a lot of times if it isn't there, then players, are uncertain as to whether it will ever show up. So that's why it was really vital that we had that in there. And we know that, in a game like this where players can just really go wild at the powers they can make and the characters they can create, they want to be able to try those out against each other and see how the different builds stack up. So I think that having all the different layers of this and our PvP system that we can extend upon as time goes by is a really awesome thing. I think if I had to pick a favorite PvP area, I've been playing a lot of the Apocalypse map, because it's really cool. It requires a lot of teamwork. There's strategic timing on when you use your reinforcements and you call them in. There's actually, I think the other one, it's kind of a toss-up. There's this really cool arena map that we haven't released to beta players yet. That's all lava-based. So and so there's a lot of dangers. You have to be careful where you go. A lot of environmental things you can use. Plus, it just looks really cool. It's a neat environment to PvP in. So, but I don't know. I think if I had to choose between those two, I just really dig the Apocalypse map. It's just a lot of fun to play on. Great, you bet.